Man, it's a tough scene down in Coral Gables, Miami. It is not fun. Or is it Miami Gardens? Wherever it is down there. They have a tough time filling that thing up, don't they? Have we ever had any kind of problems filling up Kyle Field even after losing to App State last year? It's never been a thing. We've never struggled to fill the dang stadium, but guess what, guys? We can help them out. Ags, let's go fill up their home stadium this weekend. So once we win the game, that stadium can become a maroon out, and we can start yelling. We can start cheering for our boys while they're exiting early because we're beating them by 30 points. Guys, we got a hell of a game this week. I joke, I kid. It's probably not a blowout. This is a big freaking game for the Ags, man. It's a big one. And we were 5-7 last year, guys, and this is the opportunity we needed to get rid of that stink. This is how we get that 5-7 filth off of our bodies, out of our hearts, flush the system dry, and we start a new track. Now, we feel really good after that New Mexico showing, guys. I know it. I feel great. I know you guys have just been basking in the glory all week, but we got to stamp it in. And it starts this weekend versus Miami. So let's break down the game, and at the end, I'm going to give you guys a score prediction. So if you like this content, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. I appreciate you all. So let's talk about Miami. They also started the season with a bit of a cupcake tune-up kind of a game. And much like Texas A&M last year, Miami struggled in this kind of game last year. They were happy with their performance. It took them a while to get things going. It took them some time, but they figured things out, and they ended up having a dominant performance on the day. You know, it wasn't as clean as A&M's win because A&M went out there and took care of business early. I think Miami scored on their first drive, but stalled out for a while and eventually ended up pulling away. But they're feeling good. Let's talk about them. So in their first game, they were running all over the place. 250 yards rushing. And I think the strength for this team on Miami, the strength of this offense is their offensive line. It's been rebuilt through the transfer portal, through 5-star signings, and it looks a lot better. It looks very promising for them. That's definitely a strength for their team. I always have to burp after chugging those beers. Believe it or not, I do chug the beers in that intro. I don't fake drink them. I drank like 3/4 of that can just now, so bear with this belching. But anyway, yeah, they're a strong rushing team, so it seems. So it was against Ohio, Miami. What are they going to do against the Ags? I don't know. They're supposed to be a passing team because they have a new offensive coordinator in Shannon Dawson, and he is one of the original air raid gurus. But they came out and ran the ball in week 1, and they hit some of the short passing game stuff. They weren't throwing the ball deep, even though that's something that Miami had been hoping to accomplish for the last couple of years. Much like Texas A&M, Miami has been trying to air it out deep, get some explosive plays going, but it didn't come for them yet in week 1. A lot of underneath small stuff on offense. And defensively, they held the team to 3 points. What more can you ask for? They got really strong safeties. They have really good defensive ends. Maybe a little bit shakier in the corner and interior D-line areas, but they have some stuff to work with. They only gave up 3 points against a subpar team. That's all you can really ask for. It was a rainy environment. Neither of the offenses were maybe clicking, but they still only gave up 3 points, so you got to give them credit there. But as I alluded to earlier, the double coordinator switch, we know what new coaches can bring. A new coach brings, sure, excitement, new scheme, but it also brings a transition. It also brings a time of adjustment. You got to learn the new expectations, learn terminology. But as I said, Shannon Dawson, air raid OC, who's obviously adapted, okay with running the ball as he showed in week 1. Lance Guidry, one of the DCs of one of the best statistical defenses last year in Marshall. They're very excited about him. But like I said, a transition year is not always the smoothest thing, especially when you have to do it with 2 coordinators. We felt it last year with DJ Durkin, 121st in stopping the run last year, folks. It wasn't pretty. Adazio, shaky O-line play all year, and now there was some reasons there. There were some injuries, some inexperienced players playing, but it was felt. It was felt there. So can that be a factor in this game? Maybe. A couple of specifics about their team that I'm going to look out for. A couple of matchups maybe, a couple of areas of concern, I guess, just things to look out for. I'm trying to get you guys ready for this game. They have some good running backs, as I alluded to earlier, a good offensive line, and they have a couple of really scrappy receivers in Restrepo and Young. These 2 guys in week 1 were breaking tackles, busting off big gains off of short completions. And A&M did give up a few underneath things in week 1, so look out for that. As long as A&M continues the tackling that they established in week 1, very physical from the defensive back standpoint, great tackling. As long as they keep that up, they can put a cap on that short pass and run game. But those two receivers are going to be significantly more skilled, athletic, and just have more ability than anything we saw from New Mexico. So can A&M put a bottle on that? And then the big question, can we stop the run? Like I said, 121st in the country last year. Edgerrin Cooper proved to be a really, really good player in game 1. Maybe not progressing as much as we had hoped last year, but in game 1, he showed signs of improvement. If he continues that trajectory, and I think Torin York's going to get better over the course of the year, I think we're going to feel really good about stopping the run, especially knowing what this defensive line is. I should say these defensive lines, because we have like 4 waves we're throwing out there. So I'm going to be looking real closely at those couple of things. Obviously, they're going to try to air it out. They're going to try to get some of that long passing game going. Tyler Van Dyke was once upon a time a Heisman contender. Regressed last year, maybe you would say that. I mean, he wasn't good in his time, and then he got hurt. Can he regain that status this year? Hopefully not in week 2, but I am really, really confident in this defensive back group. Now, with the emergence of DeBerry, Tyreek Chappelle in there, and obviously these safeties, these nickels, the star, we're feeling really good. And I'm feeling really good about this team. Now, I really want us to just maintain the status quo. Build on what you started on in week 1. But the one thing we need to add, and this is a big ask, is a running game. We need to balance this thing out. We need to get some production on the ground to really open up this passing game. Because we know the sky's the limit with these receivers, this quarterback, and the offensive line's giving them time now. So can this running game get established? Can this offensive line continue to improve and start blowing some holes in defenses? Now, one area I want you guys to watch out for, our offense versus their defense, is our tight end group, our tackles, against their really good edge rushers. They're very excited about their edge rushers. Can they get any kind of pressure on the outside of our offensive line? Because as we know, Donovan Green out, you're really getting some new tight ends into much bigger roles. Although we're really excited about them, Jake Johnson, Theo Orstrom, and we all know about Max Wright, they did show some inconsistencies in week 1. How much have they cleaned up from week 1 to week 2? And can they match physically with these good defensive ends? Chase Basantis looks solid in week 1. Like I said in my previous video, he missed a couple of assignments, but physically he definitely looks the part. And Trey Zune looked much improved in week 1. I know we had some shaky situations with him last year, but by all accounts, he played injured last year, and he's really looking to make a statement this year. He had great reports out of fall camp, spring. I think he's going to have a really good game and a good year, but still look out for it. We need to see it. This is a prove-it kind of game, guys. It's very much a prove-it game. It's a measuring stick game for the Ags. It's a game to show that we're really here and we're really out of that 5-7 aura, or whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of weird, the similarities between these big programs. And before I get into those, the big difference is we're in year 6 of this Jimbo Fisher era. Jimbo has his guys. Jimbo has his coaches. His culture is established. Now's the time. Now, they're only in year 2 of Mario Cristobal. They should be considerably behind in the talent acquisition department, the culture department. That coach getting his type of guys, they should be way behind there. And A&M should just be light years ahead in that capacity. Now, Mario is a great coach. I actually like Mario Cristobal a lot, and I think Miami is going to be a really, really good program for years to come. They need to figure out the stadium thing. Try to get some butts in seats, guys. I mean, you're really doing the BOGO. You're really having to BOGO guys into there. I mean, I get it. Get butts in seats. Get people there. But, man, that's like... We would never have to do that. I don't know what we do. I don't know what kind of giveaways are happening in College Station. I moved away a few years ago, so maybe they're doing stuff like that in College Station. But it hasn't been a glaring weakness whatsoever. That stadium's filled every single weekend. But, guys, we should win this game. I think we should win this game. And anything can happen this game. Unfortunately, it's true. They do have enough talent to win. They have the quarterback. They have the playmakers. They have the running backs, the offensive line to score. It could be a shootout kind of a game, but I'm actually feeling really confident in this defensive back group, and that's going to be the difference, in my opinion, in this game, is we're going to be able to keep a lid on that passing game. Yes, there's going to be some runs that they get on us. I think they're going to move the ball a little bit. They might get a couple of long drives, but I think at the end of the day, A&M will stop them from scoring touchdowns, maybe concede some field goals, but I think A&M's offense is still able to go out there and put up some points. So with that, I'm going to give you guys my final score prediction. And this is coming off the fly. I've been thinking about it all week. I've been running some equations through my head and really trying to think this thing through. So the way I think this game shakes out, it's kind of back and forth throughout the game. Maybe A&M has like a little bit of like a 3-point, maybe a touchdown lead throughout the game. They may tie it up, but I think by around the midpoint of the third quarter, Texas A&M's depth, athleticism, size, experience all pay dividends, and we just end up starting to dominate late in this game. It's going to look close. It's going to be scary at first, but I have A&M winning this game 38-24. It's not a blowout, but A&M does pull away at the end and wins convincingly, and we feel really good about this thing afterwards. That's my hope and expectation. Obviously, it's just a prediction. So what do you guys predict the score is? Where are you going with this game? I'm feeling very cautiously optimistic after that first showing because last year it didn't feel the same way versus the Cupcakes. Hell, we lost to one of those Cupcakes. I don't know why I keep bringing that up. I should just shut my mouth whenever App State comes to mind. There I go saying I'm done. I'm not talking about it. A&M wins this game. So guys, give me your score predictions. Subscribe, like, comment. Give me any feedback on this game. I want to hear it. I want this to be like a forum. I want to know more about what you guys think about this game. So with that, I'll see you minutes after the game. I can't wait for it. It is such a big game. We don't want to deal with the national media after this game if we lose, but I don't think we will. We're feeling good this year, Ags. Thanks, and gig 'em.